So in this chapter we are going to see all the elements of visual perception and how the visual perception is taking place within a human eye. Okay, so we are considering the human eye as an element of perception. So this is a general example how the image is perceived by a human eye and how it is getting transmitted to the nerves and cones that are present within the human eye and how the image is finally visualized. Okay, so we can see. So now this is the interior structure of a human eye. You can see that there are various number of layers and chambers that are present inside the human eye. So now this is the interior structure of a human eye. You can see that there are various number of layers and chambers that are present inside the human eye. Okay, so like anterior chamber, cornea, iris, lens, pupil, posterior chamber, ciliary body and muscle. Okay, similarly sclera and choroid, hair as well as retina that plays a major role for the image. So now let's see the structure of the human eye. Okay, so what is the actual size of human eye is it will be a spherical in shape with an average diameter of 20 mm, and within that it will be enclosed by using three chambers like cornea, sclera, choroid and as well as the retina. Okay, the cornea and scleroid are called as the outer layer that is present in the eyeball. Okay, whereas the choroid and retina can be said as the tough and transparent layer. This cornea is said to be the sclera is continuous with cornea and it is said to be an opaque membrane. So opaque membrane in the sense it will be preventing the light from entering into a human eye. Okay, so as I already told you, there are various number of small neurons or receptors, rods and cones that are present within the human eye that is responsible for the image formation in the human eye. Okay, so as you see, it is very clear in the picture. It has an anterior chamber that is aqueous humor where tears is formed, and then cornea, and then iris, and then lens, and then at the right side you can see that sclera, retina, choroid and fovea. So this fovea can be also called as a focal point. Okay, so that plays a major role in perceiving the image, and then we will be having n number of optical nerves that is present. That plays a main role as it catches the eyeball and it will make it as a suspended structure in the case of eye rotation. Okay, so the light will be passing through the cornea, so that is the front part, and it will be entering into the retina area. Okay, so the photoreceptors plays a major role. So once the light is perceived in the human eye, it will be getting converted into the electrochemicals. So how the human vision is operating. Okay, so this rods and cones plays a major role in the human eyes. Okay, so rods and cones are connected with fibers through a bundle of optical nerve. Okay, so that optical nerves will be playing a major role in perceiving the lights, and both the eyeballs will be getting connected in terms of optical nerves, as we can say as an example. So simply a stone or two stones being connected by a rope or whatever it is, similarly our eyes will be connected by using this particular optical nerves. Okay, so our eyes takes in the light waves, it will be processed and it will be taken into a perception. The light, as I told you earlier, it will be passing through cornea and then it will be focused onto retina through the lens. The main role of the retina is to control the amount of light that is received in the human eye. Okay, so suppose you can clearly see that in case if you are exposed to a large amount of light, then automatically your eyeball will be getting expanded to adjust to the particular light that is present. And similarly, when there is a low light that is present in that room, then automatically your eyeball will be getting adjusted to that particular a amount of light that is present. Okay, so it is very clear that the retina plays a major role in the amount of light that is being received in the human eye. Okay, so next, what is the use of rods and cones? As we all know that the main thing is the color only plays a major role in the human eye. Okay, so without these rods and cones, all the things that we view will be just in black and white need. Okay, so in order to get a clear cut view of the image that we are viewing, the rod and cones plays a major role. Okay, so this cones plays a major role during the daytime, whereas the rods plays a major role during the night time. Okay, so this is the distributions of rods and cones. You can clearly see that how the rods are playing the role and how the cones are playing the roles. Different colors are being perceived by the cones, and the rods are perceiving the black and white images or gray level images. Okay, so you can see what is the difference between rods and cones. Okay, so why we are going for rods and why we are going for cones? So in case of rods, we have 125 million cells in retina, whereas about cones we will be having 4.5 to 6 million in retina. Okay, so it is concentrated on periphery of retina and it is responsible for color vision. And in case of rods, there will be no color detected, and in case of cones, it is sensitive to red, blue and green light, that is nothing but our RGB color models. And then now, as I told you earlier, rods will be playing a major role during the night time, that is scotopic vision, and similarly you can say for cones it plays a major role during the light time, that is photopic vision. Okay, so in case of rods it will be providing peripheral vision as well as motion detection. So these are some of the major differences between rods and cones. So next thing is distribution of rods and cones. So we have taken in general, and you can see that high density of cones are found around the fovea region, that is the focal point, and blind spot at the optic nerve point exit. Okay, so it is clearly mentioned in the diagram how we are receiving and perceiving the images in the human eye with the help of these rods and cones. So this is the color perceptions. So that is, we will be able to visualize only the visible light band, but our wavelength will be ranging from IR band to UV band, but the color that we can perceive within the human eye ranges within this particular visible light range, that is from VIBGYOR colors will be viewed. Okay, so rods and cones, there will be two visions as we saw earlier, scotopic vision and photopic vision. So in case of scotopic vision, that is not color sensitive, whereas in photopic it is color sensitive. So scotopic, it is more sensitive to the light, that is the rod plays a main role, whereas in photopic vision the cone plays a main role. So now let's see how the image is getting formed in the human eye. Okay, so first is representation of an object. So next one is light leaves the object propagating in all direction, and third one is some light will be leaving the object reaches the eye, that is in the case of the light will be falling upon the object, and after that it will be getting reflected in the human eye. Okay, so light changes direction when it passes from the air into eye, and last one is location of focused image. Okay, so as you see, a good example is given here. So when you look at a flower or a mountain, okay, so it will be getting passed to the retina and then cornea, and then to the retina towards the focal point end. Okay, so first the main thing is, whenever the image is getting captured to the human eye, it will be getting obtained in an inverted mode only. Okay, so after that the image will be processed and the output image will be perceived as an correct directed image. Okay, so this is how image is formed within the human eye. So you can see that eye lens is flexible and it is controlled by the fibers of ciliary body. So ciliary bodies, it will be like a small nerve systems. Okay, so that ciliary body will be getting to hold on the eyeball that is present. Okay, so the minimum distance they have given, and the maximum distance of our eye power is also given, that is it will be varying from 17 millimeter to 14 millimeter. Okay, so objects farther than 3 meter uses, we have to go for choosing the refractive lenses. Okay, so now they have given an example how image is formed. This is the formula that we are going for calculating the image. So this is how an image is formed in the retinal of our eye. Okay, so I hope you all have understood about how image is formed in an eye, and how the inner layer, retina, cornea, sclera and choroid plays a major role in image formation. Thank you.